Hello again. Today we are continuing working with different rules that we apply to a figure and how that affects the shape. This time we're focusing on how that affects the perimeter and the area. All of our rules involve multiplying. We're going to try multiplying the x and the y by 2, multiplying the x and the y by 3, and multiplying the x and the y by 4, and seeing what effect does that have on the perimeter and the area. As you're working through this, you should be looking for a pattern to start to emerge. The first thing you need to do is graph the original. Remember that you graph the x first, so either left or right, and then the y, which tells you how much to go up or down. So we're going to start by graphing our original in the spot that says original. It says -2, +1. So we go left 2, up 1. The next point is -2, -1. So we go left 2, down 1. Then we have 2, -1. So we go right 2, down 1. Then we have +2, +1. We go right 2, up 1. And now we have our rectangle. And we're going to use our ruler to connect the points as neatly as we can. Now we have directions. We need to label the side lengths of each rectangle. So we're going to label it 2 by 4. I figured that out by counting the squares. It's 2 squares wide. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 squares long. For the original, there's not a spot on the chart to put perimeter and area. So we're going to write it in the space here. So I'm going to write P for perimeter. In order to find the perimeter, I add up all the sides. Remember that the opposite sides are matching in a rectangle. So 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus another 2 is 12 units. We also need to find the area. Again, there's not a spot in our chart to write the area, so we're going to write it on the graph for number 1, which would be the original. To find the area, we do length times width. So we would do 4 times 2, and we would get 8. And then remember that area is units squared, because we're counting the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. So that's why we put units squared. The next thing you're going to need to do is finish filling out the table for the other rectangles. Our rule 2x, 2y means multiply the x value by 2, which would be the first number, but also multiply the y value by 2, which would be the second number. So we're going to do that. -2 times 2 is -4. 1 times 2 is 2. -2 times 2 is -4. -1 times 2 is -2. And we'd continue that pattern going down. Remember, for each of these rectangles now, you're going to find the new perimeter and the new area. The last thing I want to go over before we get started is, what does it mean by how many times larger? It says, after applying the rule 2x, 2y, how many times larger is the perimeter? is the area. The way you can figure that out is by doing the original is you take the original area and you're going to take the new area and divide them. That's how you'll figure out how many times larger it is. So you would take the new area and divide it by the original area. And that would end up showing you how many times larger the shape is.